What's good, y'all? Again, I'm in my practice mode, trying to get used to the streaming. Um, I hate last time I forgot that I actually have a mic I can use to sound a lot better. So as you can see, I have incorporated that. I hope it sounds better. Uh, Jason, I wish you weren't busy so you could let me know. Um, and salute to Rob Bass. And it's been brought to my attention that he passed today. He's famous for the song "It Takes Two." Um, and for those of you that's, I don't know, consider yourself millennials and are looking for a good song to really set off a party, that's definitely one. That was one that always gave people energy. Whenever I heard "It Takes Two" at a party, even if it was a house gathering, something simple, somebody could start getting busy once that song came on. So if you in charge of doing the music, if you DJing, you can't go wrong with "It Takes Two." I'm gonna give some peeps a little bit of background on the artist Rod the Pro, which is your boy truly that you see in front of you. So let's start from the beginning. All right. By the way, if you need me to give you links to check out certain pages and things, uh, like the new project, um, The Legend of Rod the Pro and Rod Mode 2. It's on my YouTube channel. I can give you that info uh, when you need it. So, yeah, born in Oaktown, uh, but lived in Richtown um, at least half of my life. Uh, let's see what else. Like most black Americans, musical beginnings started in the church. Um, I know I was in the youth choir when I was little, but I didn't want to sing anymore. I wanted to naturally get into an instrument. So basically, one day I asked the organist at that time if I could just stay on the drum set for that one rehearsal. Uh, and that was pretty much the beginning of my real musicianship. Didn't really have formal training. Tried to pick up things I heard from other people. You know, when you in that environment, you pick up on things. You pretty much hope it comes naturally. I've had people do things, but they didn't really break it down how they're doing it. So I was still struggling a lot. It was challenging. Um, but um, contrary to that, once I came across this hip hop music, this rap music, I got hooked. It started with just growing up at my cousin's house a lot, and they will watch music videos practically all day. So naturally, things like Rap City would come on. Things like Yo MTV Raps would come on. But I don't know. I guess I was liking how it sounded first. I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics and things like that. It was, but the music behind it had attracted me. And then I'm listening to James Brown songs while I'm riding with my dad in his car. He's playing James Brown music, and I'm hearing stuff that I heard in rap songs from James Brown, who is my all-time artist, by the way. If you ever want to know, I may have to break down why in a separate streaming, because there's a lot of things people don't know that he did. So yeah, I'm like, okay, like the Big Payback. It's like I've heard that somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He was like kind of that first artist where, you know what, I heard this before. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I was already a producer at heart, because I was attracted to sound just in general. I was just fascinated with sound and how that was being put together. You know, trying to imagine that. And a lot of people talk about Paul's tapes. That wasn't my introduction. It's kind of weird how I got started. I would record over and over through keyboards on basically a karaoke machine speaker with two tapes. And if I left a microphone in the middle of the keyboard, I could record it. I record over and over and over and over and over. That's all I did. The pause tape thing actually seemed kind of hard. I ain't never tried that, but the way people was describing how they did it, it seemed like you had to be real super nice with it. So I never had the chance to do that, but yeah, I would just record stuff over and over. It really wasn't a lot of people within my circles that were into the MCing part, except when I heard about my late cousin Otis. Used to get down here and there, but I never got a chance to work to him. I actually didn't know he was doing it until the tail end of his life, unfortunately. But salute Otis Briggs. But yeah, so the MCing, I started writing rhymes myself. I don't know if it was out of necessity or what, but I did that too. My rhymes back then, dang, how do I even describe it? I don't know, but I thought I was really doing something, y'all. I wasn't even joking about it. It may have been some silly rhymes or whatever, but I was pretty serious about it. Even if it didn't make a lot of sense or whatever. But yeah, it's my favorite genre. And no diss to what's out now. I love the sounds that I'm hearing. To how hip hop has always evolved, like people bringing vintage sounds back, like the 808s and everything. That's cool. I try it every now and then, but know that all of the hip hop that you like still exists. It's just maybe what you like is not in the mainstream. That doesn't mean people don't do it anymore. That doesn't mean it's dead. Okay? And I keep hearing that a lot. But that's for people that just really don't know. I'll give you an example. like the underground hip hop or the boom bap, which is my favorite kind of style of it. If I were to go to a random country, let's say, I don't know, Berlin, Germany, I got a feeling they would treat me like royalty. It's just something about Europe that's just so, they're so about the essential things, like they don't play around when it comes to their hip hop. They really love us. Um, it's you have to be kind of strategic. It seems like in the U.S. now, or you could only go to certain spots. It seemed like it, you know. Now there's a huge L.A. underground scene. A lot of people forget about the artists that came out of the Good Life Cafe out there, like Freestyle Fellowship's been out there. Shout out AC Alone, Abstract Rude, all them dudes from L.A. And then even Oakland we had a dope scene, with the Hieroglyphics crew. That's Dale, Souls of Mischief, Casual, the late Saphir. You know what I'm saying? That's all Oakland. So that's got a nice movement out of there too. So it's a lot out there, and I don't know if y'all noticed, but I feel like this current decade since 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020, there's been like this spirit of nostalgia that's been slowly creeping back in. I'm seeing cats like 18, 19, 20 years old giving reactions off Big Daddy Kane and Rakim and Gangstar, artists like that. Heavy D. And that's a good thing. Why would you not want to educate yourself in something that you enjoy? Why not try to push for further perspective on things? Because, if you're serious about whatever it is you do in life, you're going to strive for excellence, right? So, and that's really all that it comes to. You know what I mean? Like, are you willing to do the knowledge? Are you a student of life? You know what I'm saying? That's why Eminem is so dope as a writer, because you could tell that he studied a lot. He studied a lot of the technical, a lot of the mechanics, flow wise, writing wise, rhyme wise. You know what I'm saying? So I can't front on that, because he do what he does, you know. So you got to be a student of this. I give you another example. Um, Hip hop has like a family tree. If we were to look at MCs, like Grandmaster Cass, then he gives birth to Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane gives birth to, in my opinion, Jay-Z and the Notorious B.I.G. If you were to start the family tree from Melly Mel, Melly Mel gives birth to KRS One. KRS One gives birth to Tupac and DMX. Um, Kumo D, he gives birth to Nas, mostly. So it's a family tree. Um, you combine your inspiration, you combine your influence. Now, it's not about trying to sound like them, and it's not about trying to steal their rhymes. Nah. Now, see, those are like the unwritten rules. That's what they mean when they say no biting. Um, when you bite, that's when you literally, take the rhymes. That's when people can tell you really trying to sound like that person, the voice and everything. But if you're serious about this, naturally your influences is going to blend into something beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm kind of a hybrid, but I'm kind of more closely, I think, from that Melly Mel family tree. Um, KRS-One, Tupac, kind of right there. I'm not directly in it. I would have to probably write my name kind of near it, if that makes sense. If I were to give you a family tree, um, and then in my earlier live video, I said I came from the family tree of Marley Marl, and I'm speaking of the producer of the hip hop producer Marley Marl. And the reason why is because prior to the world knowing about Marley Marl, there was still good beats, but people were only using what um, came from the machine, like the actual factory sounds, basically. And here come Marley Marl, even by accident, capturing something great, capturing authentic drum sounds from older records. So I can't even imagine the excitement um, at that moment for him. He's like the boom bap father. He's like the sampling father of hip hop. Like, it pretty much goes back to him. And it was really one rule, and that was to keep it funky at all times. You know? But I love that. Just that kind of mentality that just pushed for something. After that, it was straight up official. It's like you really had the blueprint, for how to do this. And yes, sampling is an art. It's not just taking something. There's more going on there. Those that treat it as art, it's going to come out as art. It's going to come out as something beautiful. It's going to come out as a different song. You know what I'm saying? So, just like what I was doing earlier, you saw that was turning into a whole different vibe from the snippets of what you was hearing prior to that. If you go back and look at that. So yeah. But yeah, kind of getting back to my backstory, whether it was off and on, hip hop has always been a part of me. It's always fun to do. I'm kind of in a position where I can do more of it. And I'll probably never stop doing it, or never stop sharpening my skills. You know. On the production side, for the average listener, I just want it to be fun to listen to. I want them to be able to nod their heads. You know what I'm saying? Because the average listener, the attention span is not that huge. So I got to come with that. Then after that, equal respect to the MCing. I don't want to get too much into that now, but if I was to give y'all a crash course, or if someone was to ask me, Rod, I want to be an MC, I don't know where to start, what should I do first? Well, I would probably say find a hip hop instrumental that you like and just listen to it. Learn how to count to 4. And then they probably be like, what do you mean learn how to count to 4? I already know how to count to 4. No. I need to show you how to count to 4 on beat. I need to show you how to keep counting that, because you could do different things on different numbers. You could do certain things around the numbers, but you can still visualize a flow diagram going from 1 to 4. You will get to a point where you could see 1 going to 4 in your head. This gives you the room to do your rhyme schemes. This gives you room on how you want to do your flow. You know where you want to go with it. You know where you want to put stuff. But you got to have rhythm. You got to understand rhythm. You got to understand staying on time. You got to understand how to, even if you sound like you off rhythm, still know that those off rhythms could be a rhythm if you do it right. So flow is it's a very tricky thing. We probably wasn't using the word flow till Rakim came out, so that would definitely be someone to listen to, and you'll see how he was overlapping bars. You'll see how he didn't just rhyme on one beat, and you'll see that it wasn't just basic rhymes. You'll see that it was multi-syllabic rhymes. Bending the rhymes, to make things rhyme, right? Always having a message in his song. Some braggadocio, which is okay. That's a part of hip hop. It's okay to have braggadocio songs or braggadocio / battle type songs. Some people have conscious songs. Some people have autobiographical songs. Some people have semi-autobiographical, which means you may not have done it, but you've seen it done. That's still real. Some people like to get witty with poetic devices, like I'm a big fan of metaphor. So some people like to use metaphors. Some people use punchlines. It's I think that's probably more popular than ever, because I still hear that being used a lot more, probably more now. So maybe you want to study somebody that emphasizes those. Maybe you want to study somebody that does a lot of metaphors. Like Redman, like Ludacris. So yeah, that's another little crash course, little insight. I'm dropping some jewels. These are kind of things we didn't used to just tell the public, but we're in a different place now on the planet. Where sharing is caring. So, but at the same time, to help y'all do it right is one of the main reasons I'm trying to drop this knowledge on y'all and pour out my knowledge to y'all. If your cup is empty, I'm pouring it on y'all. So let's see what else has been happening. What's going on here? So yeah, always stuck with it, obviously. If you go to rodthepro.com, you can see I've stuck with it. It'll give you links to go to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you are really a music enthusiast and you striving to listen to dope hip hop, because that's what I strive to make. So I say that with confidence. I think you'll enjoy it. And that's just what it is. So peace.